The president of FASO, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, once again opened up to the national and international press. This evening we will therefore have the opportunity to interview the president of FASO about his vision, the path of the progressive popular revolution, and the daily action being taken for the sovereignty, freedom, and the development of Burkina Faso. Good evening, Mr. President. Thanks for honoring us by receiving us here in the Kuluba Palace in Ouagadougou for this major interview. So, dear viewers, the format of this interview is special. A total of 10 journalists will take turn in group of 2 to ask their questions to the president of FASO. 5 areas will be covered in the exchanges. First, security and defense. Second, politics and society. Third, diplomacy and AES. Fourth, economy and development. And fifth, regional and international geopolitics. Each group of journalists will have between 15 and 20 minutes to engage with the president of FASO. My role this evening is moderate, responsible for ensuring the rule of the debate. Mr. President, we will now welcome the first group of journalists with your permission. They are Hervé Dapa from BFN Television and Asmao Dao from C360 Television. Good evening, dear colleagues. You have 20 minutes to discuss with the President on questions related to defense and security. Good evening, Your Excellence. Some of your critics often bring up a statement you made at the very start of your power when you said that if everything were put in place, 3 months will be enough to move toward ending the war. These critics now say that 3 years after the war is not completely over. Mr. President, what do you say to them this evening? Thank you very much, and thank everyone for coming for this. This is what we hope, but things didn't go as expected. And I said, if everything were put in place, now many things needed to be implemented to reach the objective in such a time frame, but not everything was put in place as we would have wished. First, adversity. When we first came to power, we hoped to be allowed to work quickly and make progress. Unfortunately, some people approached us and wanted us to go their way because their goal was not for the war to end anytime soon. I'm talking about some foreign forces that were present in our soil. We had heated debate with foreign diplomats, but no one wanted us to end this war. We understood their message. When people come to us and say we must accept that they support both the terrorists and us at the same time, it means only one thing: it's an imposed war. So we understood everything quickly. We got rid of all foreign forces present here, French and American. We understood that the first would be our afterward. The second issue was that we believe we had at least a minimum of stock of weapons and ammunition. Today I can tell you what I found. In the entire country of Burkina, we had 100,000 of Kalashnikov cartridge and barely 100 weapons. How could we wage war with that? We needed to re-equip, increase the army human resource, and equip with arms. So the 3-month objective would have been possible if the condition was met, but there was nothing. We weren't prepared for war, both in terms of equipment and number of soldiers. Mr. President, you just said it yourself. When you took power, to put it bluntly, there were more men than ammunition in the Burkina army. Where do we stand today with the army armament program, and what sign show that the military is gradually building up strength? Very well. As I said the situation was catastrophic. You can investigate. There were probably in this room some military who were on the field without weapons. It existed in our army. That was the reality, and we thought it was not just not a bad faith, but it was incomprehensible. When we faced the reality, we committed to arm the people we had, and that was a struggle because many power refused to sell us weapons, so we turned to those who were willing to sell. So quickly we equipped ourselves, recruiting volunteers for the defense of the homeland, paid what we needed. We designed an equipment plan for a gradual build up, and as you have seen for the past 2 years, equipment are coming, not finished yet. Things continue to come. Maybe some days soon you will see new equipment coming. That are mainly support equipment, because first we needed to equip infantry so that every soldier had a weapon. That was the biggest challenge. We met it. We continue to recruit. As you noted, every year we recruit 10,000 to 15,000 men. That is a considerable effort, because adversity is there. Terrorism numbers increase because imperialists recruit many mercenaries who come and fight in Burkina Faso. So we must adapt to the situation. Now we are in the third phase, which is not to buy but produce ourselves, and we are also working on it. This is the strength build up. First equipment, but also create a defense industry. So in few months or years, our soldiers will be using weapons made in Burkina. Of course, we have the intellectual capacity. The resources are there. We just have to solve for it, and we are working on it. You will be surprised for sure. Mr. President, can we win this war? Will we win this war? We can only win. What else will we do? Be assured we have no other place to go. We will win this war. As I said, the threat is changing, and we will adapt. The Burkina army is one of the most resilient in the world. The pressure that Burkina Faso is facing, I don't think there is a country on this world that is facing the same pressure. But we will maintain, and we will fight and adjust to threat. We know where the threat comes from, how it is manifest, and that is the most important. And I can assure you that very soon we will talk about a black albino that will come. You will see. Don't ask me what it is now. You will understand later. The war will end, and very soon. Mr. President, to win this war, as you said, we need weapons. But also men, committed men. Determination, as you know, is the major game changer. That's what makes the difference in all world. So currently, what is the moral of our troops on the ground? You've touch on the heart of the matter. Human resources, committed soldiers. It's not just buying equipment. We need committed men, and if you observe, we are building quality soldiers. When we notice that a leader is not fulfilling his mission, we dismiss them. And if you are committed to be a soldier, you have to accomplish your mission because it is sacred. And the other thing is that despite the challenge the men are fighting, they are resilient. If you ask a Burkinabe soldier if they would like some other people to come and fight on their behalf, they will say never. They prefer dying. That's how you can appreciate the moral. They are ready, always ready, despite the situation. No matter the loss for battle, they maintain their ground, and that is what is important in the moral of soldiers. Moral is at the highest. Our troops didn't expect this level of equipment, but they are it now. So I would like to congratulate all of them. So, Mr. President, after in your argument, you talk about a war that is taking different form, and we then wonder who is attacking Burkina Faso. It is not only terrorism, it is a war to grasp our wealth and prevent us from the development. I explained this in one of my speeches. I said that if we properly exploit our underground resources, if we are able to transform what we explore, there will be unemployment in their countries. So it's a battle. They are plundering our resources to survive. It is a war of independence, and we must fight to be fully independent and decide our development and trajectory, and this is what it is. Mr. President, you just mentioned it. We're talking about security and defense of Burkina Faso. Now come to your personal security. You just mentioned it minutes ago. There's a high pressure. Danger comes from everywhere. In 2025 alone, there have been many attempts of coup that failed. Now I wonder if you are sometimes afraid. Thank you. I think that is the main strength that I have. I'm not afraid, because I trust all of you, the people. That's the first thing. You need to trust the people, because it is the people that gave us this mission. I trust the people, and they will understand. That's why we are not afraid to be in front of them to explain the situation, tell them what it is, and this helps us maintain a good relation, a strong bond. That's the first thing. Second, as I said, there is a mentality that we need to develop within our army, and this is very important. Today, the mentality is there. People understand why they are fighting. Years ago, many officers on the field didn't know why they were fighting, but if we know why we're fighting and who is in front of us and why there is that pressure, people understand better. So that's why we created the higher military school to train our soldiers and instill what we want them to have. If you let your foreign forces or your forces trained by foreign forces, they will put in their head what they want, indoctrinate them, and it is much easier to manipulate them. So in Burkina Faso, and that's why some imperialists are not happy, they are not able to penetrate our army. All the battalions and men here, nobody came from outside to train them. We train them based on our field experiences, and we use our reference to train them. I even participate personally in some of the training. That's the second force. The other force is that if we have a mission, an objective for your country, you must not be afraid. If you are afraid, you hesitate. If you hesitate, you lead to compromise, and once there's compromise, you are defeated. You mentioned a certain number of elements that ensure you, but I will insist because you also have history, and history leaders and also imperial forces is real. In 1961, they killed Lumumba in DRC. In 1972, they killed Kwame Nkrumah in a certain way. In 1987, they killed Thomas Sankara, also with the participation of internal enemies and also the complicity of some neighbor. So, dear President, as you know, the first duty of a revolutionary is to stay alive, to continue the struggle. So, dear President, can you ensure all those people, men and women from here and everywhere who are now hoping that you will survive? There have always been internal manipulation, and it is also a duty for us to participate in our own security. We must not just say we are head of state and we delegate security to others. Everybody participates in security. I participate in my security. That's why I say it's not just a question of my God. Security is not just a question of uniform people. It is a set. It is also a behavior, a way of living, and we must avoid a lot of things. There have been mistakes in the past. We studied a lot, all those that the imperial kill, and we learn lesson, and that's why we will not let history repeat. We will anticipate. People will interpret as they want, but we will anticipate, because we have understood the hope, and we will do everything to always anticipate imperialist action. Mr. President, as a journalist, I think that there is an encirclement of the alliance of Sahel state countries. In Cote d'Ivoire, there is military camp in Odiene near to Burkina. In Senegal, there is a military base close to Mali, and also Benin that share border with Burkina Faso and Niger. So, dear President, do you see this point of view, or do you perceive them this way? Yes, when you decide for a revolution, you must be ready for this adversity. It is logical that they will be encircling us. It is logical that they will try to defeat us. It is logical. As I said, it is a battle. They are fighting for their interests. It is us to also fight. When we decide revolution, we must do everything to also avoid encirclement. Africa, we don't have strong army. There's no state without strong army, but that was the system. As I said, they come and flatter us and say you must not arm. And I think currently there is a U.S. general that recently said that our country don't need to militarize. That is their conception. We are like children. They must always come and design security for us, and many countries are in this format. They don't build their army, and so when there's a situation, there's a chaos. So we are building a strong army. We are fighting as Burkinabe and training ourselves as Burkinabe, and that's also something important. In the past, it is always foreign forces. Everybody was coming to train our soldier. They don't consider us as somebody that contributes. And today, many foreign countries want to train with us. You will not believe if I say powerful countries want to come and train with us. But they don't just come for training. They want to also learn how we do, how we proceed, who is training us. But nobody today know how our beat have trained, how we equip them. Why do we believe that people should always come and train us? They haven't created anything. They just think. And we also have a mind to think. So we need to have a strong army to face adversity. They will always continue to encircle us because they will always be in Africa, state like this, head of state like this, who will authorize it. They have tight hands and they will always betray. They will always accept that imperialists come in their country to attack their brothers. So if you accept revolution, you must accept it. We can't do anything against it. We will do with it, but we have to prepare ourselves so that encirclement will fail, so that they don't meet their objective. We will do with it. Recently, ECOWAS held a meeting with the chief of staff of Africa. Mali and Burkina Faso didn't attend, but Niger did. Is there a lack of solidarity at the head of state? What do you say about that? Well, not a lack of solidarity. Remember, it is a confederation, it's not a federation. On some aspects, we do a lot of things together. But in the charter, it is said that countries can decide their relation and what they can do. We cannot tell country not to collaborate with another country. We are not at that step yet. Now we are building the confederation on aspect in a certain number of aspect development, aspect defense and diplomacy, and then after we can go to federation. So Niger can participate in meetings. So we don't close doors. We are open, we collaborate with others, we are very Pan-Africanist, we are very open to integration and everything, but with principles. So we will let you ask one more question. Mr. President, the question that I wanted to ask is not a question about defense and security, but your relation with us media. Mr. President, do you have a particular problem with us journalists? Because we have the feeling that there is a misunderstanding. I'm talking about national media, I'm not talking about international media, for which some fail. It is a fact, but I'm talking about national media. We have the feeling that there is a misunderstanding at the beginning, like a sort of noise. What is your analysis of the situation? You know that I'm not a hypocrite. Yes, there have been a misunderstanding at the beginning, but I must commend many journalists for their professionalism today. You must avoid reproducing imperialist work. Some of you have been trained by them. You've been to the white man's school, as you said, and they train our journalists. So I don't blame you when people behave like them, but I speak so that people can have an awareness that there is a situation. For example, this morning, if you read the title of journals in France, they will maybe say that there have been a mobilization for pressure on the prime minister, but they will not tell you that there have been a march against the power. But if it was in Burkina Faso, you will say there have been a march against the power. You understand? So French people were calling, and they continue to call it agenta. It is a French thing, but there are also our journalists who were calling agenta. Why blindly follow them? This is slavery, and I want us to leave it. Every country should fight for their interest. Their journalists are fighting for their interest. Why can't we do that? So this is it's not only journalists. I also have the same concern for intellectual on television station in Africa. When they take the floor, you wonder if they are African or if genetically they are not feeling like African, and this is a reality. So we need to decolonize the mind and way of doing. Everybody should fight for their country. You may have information that is true and just, but you might decide not to share it because it might harm the national defense, security, or cohesion. This is a sovereign decision that you can make because you want to preserve your country. But we don't say, oh, whenever there is an information you share. And most of the time, journalists, when trains that are always on time, they never care about it, but when it's late, they don't understand. But Mr. President, you understand it. So I want you to talk about trains that come on early. I would like to leave you with a sentence which is a motto from a great European colleague. Our journey can be stained with blood, mud, and sweat, but never with shame. That's what I wish to you, Mr. President. Thank you.